Hi, everyone. It is Jess, your life and transition coach through your inner vitality. And we are back with Darcy Herring, senior coach of Darcy Herring Coaching. And this is part 2 of our series about parenting. And today we're going to take some self-care for the parents. That is right. So we are taking care of you. So how do you take care of yourself as times start falling apart? So Darcy, just in case someone didn't tune in with our last one of series 1, which we want you guys all to check out, a quick intro of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, again, I am Darcy Herring, and I work with families with children and teens with anxiety, really helping to get to the root of where this anxiety is coming from, while also creating effective and purposeful strategies that do work.
Yeah. And I giggle because we took a bit of a pause before getting into this series. And if anyone watched series 1, I don't know if they realized your phone actually rang, and it was very subtle.
It sure did.
And you were so professional. But at the same point, I think this is a perfect example of parenthood never being shut off. Like, doesn't matter if you're in an interview right now, making an impact in the world, mom's on call. So,
because that phone call was my kid's school. And I was like, oh, awesome. I will finish this and then I will follow up.
So just as a quick note, there was no dire emergency. We're so grateful of that. And, again, we do appreciate you taking some time being with us today. And let's just segue into this. I think, this is where parenthood's never turned off, but yet we do need to take care of ourselves, especially right now.
We absolutely do. And to go away from the selfishness for a while, we need to take care of ourselves so we can continue to take care of others. But we also have to take care of ourselves so that we can live a good life, and we can live a life that's for us and not just the caretaker, right? Yes, we have kids. We love them to death. We would do anything for our children. We also are us. I'm also Darcy. I'm not just Bradley's mom or Tyler's mom, right? I am Darcy, and Darcy has dreams and hopes, and I love doing things that don't necessarily involve my kids. I love them and doing things with them, but there is a time where I want to just be me and not be, like I said, Bradley's mom or Tyler's mom. Hey, yeah, hi. Yeah, that's me. I've taken an alter ego depending on where I am, right? So I think that's really key as parents. We get so caught up in parenting and just living life, right? We've got to prep the meals. We've got to do the grocery shopping. Whether we order online or not, it still takes time. We still have to put effort and thought into ordering our food to be able to have food in the house. We need to make sure homework is done for our kids, make sure they're on top of stuff, make sure the house is semi-clean. I know some people have a different rating. I know I am not the clean freak, so it's not like spotless around here, but it's got to be to the point where I'm not tripping on stuff and mold isn't growing in the corners. Like, that's not safe. And so unless I'm going to hire someone to come and do it, which I absolutely could if I wanted, someone else has to do it. Me, my husband, the kids, but it takes time and effort, right? So we're so busy living life that often we forget to actually live, like actually do something fun and joyous for ourselves. And the other night, it was funny. It was Saturday night last weekend. We had gone out for dinner, which, we're still allowed to do, which was awesome. And the kids and my husband were talking about watching a movie. And all I could think about was going home and getting into my jammies and reading a book that I had started. So then I was like, nah, I should probably watch a movie with them. And I'm like, no. So we came home and I went upstairs, got my jammies on as everyone else did. And they were like, are you coming down to watch the movie? I'm like, I am not. Ooh, my husband looked at me. He's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to read. And he looked at me like I had two heads and was like, okay.
Hey, can I ask, did the world fall apart because you went for a read?
Oh, No. And
Yeah.
nobody argued, nobody fought, which is very rare in my house when I'm not involved. Usually that's all they do. Like I thought they all fell asleep downstairs. It was so quiet. They all watched the movie. They enjoyed themselves. I enjoyed myself, and I wasn't sitting on the couch thinking, oh, I really wish I'd chosen to read. No, I spoke
Yeah.
up, and I just, like, it wasn't a big deal. It's not like I went out for a week-long trip to Florida or something. I
Mm-hmm.
just took, and like the movie was what, an hour and a half? So I had an hour and a half to myself just reading a book. It was beautiful. I have to tell you, Jess, it was beautiful.
I will never deny a good book read. I am, you know me, I'm a
Right?
huge bookworm, so I definitely love that. You know, and it's interesting because Athena being in grade 11, when you're talking about even earlier, your, you know, who you are and what you like to do, and not as a parent, but as yourself, some of us as parents are also getting used to the idea or getting ready or denying it even and avoiding it is that some of our kids are getting ready to leave the nest. You know, she has these ambitions of what she wants to do after high school and where she wants to go, which could actually leave me and Brad as empty nesters, which it's crazy to think that. I think I'm too young for that. I think she's too
Right?
young for that. Like, it's just, I need to get ready for that too. And I think this whole idea of taking this time for yourself is so important to also prepare you for the idea of maybe there could be potential empty nesting down the road. And who are you outside of parenthood when
Yeah.
that comes too? That could be a
Yeah,
whole
because
other topic.
right? A whole other series. But
There we
yeah,
go.
like we were us before we were parents, right? And we had
I love that.
ambitions and we had dreams of what we wanted. And maybe we have the most amazing career or job and we love it. Maybe we're a stay at home mom and that's what we wanted to be. Absolutely okay. Just you need to have your time. You say it in your
Yeah.
tagline, it's your time. And
Hmm.
yes, as parents, we need to take our time. And maybe you're not a reader. I know some people that don't pick up a book.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. Find something else. Go for a bike ride or get your nails done or go for tea with your friend or go for a beer with the guys. Like something
Yeah.
that gives you that moment away. You know your kids are safe with whoever they're with. You don't have to worry and you can just escape for a little bit and just
Mhm.
breathe because we carry so much stress, so much worry on our shoulders. I think it's just a parent thing. I always said to my mom, why do you worry so much? Now she worries
And now
about
we're
me
there.
and my kids, right? Now she worries twice as much. But right, but I worry too, right? So,
Yeah.
but knowing my kids are safe with my husband and I'm reading, I can escape into the world of the book and just be like, "Oh, like it's just so self-soothing in a way
Mm.
when the world is so chaotic
Yeah.
and it's hard to find that quiet time. It's hard to find that peace when my kids are still little-ish. They're 9 and 11, so they say mommy way too many times in a day. One day I will miss it. I admit that fully. But sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, like, can you just do something on your own? And they can't get away from you. Like, they just clingy. They just want to be there. And I love them for it. I also need my own space at times, right? So taking
Yeah.
that time and practice it. It doesn't, if it's something you haven't done in a while, it may take time to get used to the fact that you're taking time, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah.
start with 5 minutes, start with 10 minutes, just go for a short walk or just go and have a longer shower. And whatever craziness or screaming is going on outside the shower, just ignore it, right? Because sometimes that happens. A lot of parents can't even have a quiet shower without knocking on the door. Hey, mom, I need this. Or hey, mom, I just
Yeah.
spilled something. Or hey, mom, he's bugging me. Or whatever. Close the door, lock the door, and just, if that's where you have to start, that's where you have to start. But
It's
setting those boundaries too for your kids.
I love that. I love that you just totally gave space to that because It's so true. And when you're creating those spaces, sometimes people don't know them yet. So you have to be patient because you're going to have to help communicate that to them too, right? And the boundaries aren't going to be
Yeah.
perfect, but if you can be consistent with it, you may actually get that extra long shower that you are dying to get.
Yeah. Like how many moms go to the bathroom with the door open, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like my whole
Like,
family does it. It's because we're family, but it's also the door's open. I can hear and I'm available, right?
I feel like a classic thing. Even now, it's not as bad, but I still be like, give me 5 minutes. I'm just
Right?
finishing up. I
Right?
don't even need 5 minutes. Just give me a minute.
No, right? It's like every time I walk into the bathroom, Mom, like, what? Oh, I just want to
But
know
they
where you
know.
were. What do you mean you want to know where I was? Where do you think I went? Do you think there's a magic portal somewhere in this house that I just dive into and disappear? No, really, let me know where that is so I can at times. But, like, what do you mean, where did I go?
Yeah.
Really? But making those boundaries clear. So, when I'm in the shower and the door is closed, I need my space. Or, you know what? I'm going to go up and read. Give me half an hour. And even if you have to set a timer for your kids, when that timer goes off, you can come and talk to me. But I just need some space. Whether you've had a tough day, whether you've had a great day, it doesn't matter. You are allowed your own space, even as a parent.
Yeah. Those are two big things. So time for yourself and boundaries.
Yeah.
And, you've also mentioned it doesn't have to be, an hour and a half movie length time. It could
No.
be 5 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever that may look or feel like for them. Even getting in 5 minutes, maybe a couple times a day, what that can do for you,
Right?
what that does for me.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
one last thing is our circle of support.
Mm.
Make sure we've got that for us. Like our kids use us because they need us. They need us to teach them and help them through stuff. And oftentimes we
Yeah.
kind of get so busy in life that we don't reach out to our circles of support. People have coaches for business and coaches for our sports activities, but we need our support, whether it's that friend where we just call and vent and get it all out and then be like, oh, okay, and how was your day? And get it off our chest, right? Or just someone to, help you problem solve. I'm having this challenge. How have you dealt with it? What can I do differently? And just somebody to talk to that's not in your immediate family.
Who's in your circle of support? What kind of people do you have in your circle of support?
Well, I've got a amazing friend that I reach out to on those days. We talk almost every day, but she's someone that I share the celebrations with, but also the challenges. So it's
Yeah.
not just oh my gosh, it's been a horrible day, but hey, guess what happened today? Today was fantastic. I got my kid on the bus. Woohoo! Without tears.
Yeah.
Yay! Today.
Yeah.
Right? I've got them. I've also got just I don't know, business connections, but they're not like in my own business, but it's somebody else's business, and we hang out and just kind of shoot ideas back and forth between each other, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a coach per se, but we're friends, but we're like, hey, what are you doing? Okay, how's that working out? Well, this is what I've tried, and just going about that a little bit, kind of banter back and forth, really,
Yeah. So
right?
important.
Yeah,
A couple, I've realized the power of that circle of support, and it's a huge part of my world too. And I have like a massage therapist, I have a physiotherapist, my naturopathic doctor that I see regularly. I even consider my general practitioner a part of my circle. Those individuals, even my hairstylist, like I know I'm not fancy, but I can tell you to go and get my hair done is like, right? Just even
yeah,
thinking about it, my whole body just goes, oh, right? And I think it's sometimes people don't realize who or what can be in that circle of support. There's no rules to that. If this is a person that
no,
helps you feel good and grounded, and you need acupuncture, you need a massage, or you need a
yeah,
friend to vent to, put those in that circle of support and be intentional with it, and make it a part of your everyday life. Because, you know, I know for myself, it's in my calendar. I at least see one of those professionals at least once a month, if not
Yeah.
more than once a month, just depending on how crazy my world is.
Yeah. Yeah. My chiropractor is key in my circle of
Oh,
support, and
yeah.
not just for my bones and my body, but also to talk about, oh, she can feel it in me. Oh my gosh, what have you been doing or not doing? And oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a very stressful couple of weeks. I can tell. Crack, crack,
Yeah.
crack, massage, 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 right? Like, and just bouncing that off of her, and with the kids too, because my kids struggle with anxiety, and asking her, okay, how can we, they are part of they, or she is part of their circles of support to keep the anxiety at bay.
I
They
love that.
wouldn't consider it, but it is. It's part of how
Yeah.
they keep well, right? Just like a doctor, it's
Hmm.
they're a little bit of a checkup.
You know, it's interesting because I almost feel like this is like a message that by us being able to have this time for ourselves and our circle of supports in place, and, you know, those boundaries, it's also teaching our kids these as well. And I think of when you talked about circle of support, my massage therapist is also my daughter's massage therapist. And so we actually set up times that we will go to the massage therapist. She has her session, and then I'll have my session after. So in a way, it's like ingraining this self-care now is also
Yes.
helping them know that these are things that they can do to help themselves when if they decide to become parents, or when they're full-fledged adults out on their own, and how important it is for themselves.
Yeah, and that is so key. I've
Yeah.
heard, along with that, like taking, I don't have a daughter, mine are sons, but taking your daughter to get her nails done, right? Just having that
Yeah.
mother-daughter time, and just having somebody pamper you for half an hour, 45 minutes. Like, it's not about the fancy nails. It's about the time you spend together. It's about letting somebody else do something for you. It's about taking that time away from the world, right? There's so much
Mm-hmm.
more than just going to get your nails done or just going to get a massage. Like, the message behind it is so much bigger.
Yeah. Even the
Yeah.
workouts. Workouts are
Yeah.
really good for the mind and body and soul too. Just thinking
Yeah.
about that.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Were there any other things there that we missed, or you wanted to make sure that we were paying attention to and honoring today for our parents out there?
I think that's it. I know,
Yeah, those are
going
big.
along with your theme of gratitude,
Hmm.
some days it's hard to be thankful for for the kids that we have when they're being little monsters. Um, but taking the time every day to just, breathe and be thankful for something that day. It may not be the monster that's banging on your door and not giving you the space, but it could be for something else. And just being thankful, putting that out there, you will be able to find those days where you can be thankful for them.
Hmm. You know, and that kind of ties into series one when you were talking about, family gratitude and journaling it, or finding ways to be creative with it. It's
Yeah.
almost the same kind of concept, a beautiful tie-in of finding some gratitude and things that you appreciate. And if you can't find that, my thought process is you've got to start creating those moments for yourself of joy and
Yes.
happiness in those days too for you.
Yes. Yes. So key.
Yeah.
Very good point, Jess. Yeah.
Well, Darcy, it's always a pleasure having you on our sessions together here. And, I just wanted to open the floor and let people know about your book that you have out. If they didn't hear it in
Yeah.
series one, let's revisit that, shall we?
Yes, it's called Chaos to Calm, and it's a
Mm.
guide for parents with teens and children with anxiety, full of strategies, information, just a bunch of really useful tips and tools, and just a different way of looking at anxiety in your children and teens. And it
Mm.
is coming out in the next couple months, so I'm super excited. We're just doing the finishing touches on it.
Yay.
So for those that want one of those first copies to come out, reach out to me. I know Jess is going to put my information on this video at the last slide,
Yeah.
but you can reach me at darcyherring.com on my website, or Darcy Herring Coach on Facebook. And just shoot me a message and say, hey, I want to be on that list, because I'm just creating a list now of all those that want first crack at these books, because they're going to be amazing. It is amazing. Once it's all together, it'll be fantastically amazing.
Yeah.
So get your name on that list and be one of the first to have that book.
And as Darcy said, I will make sure all that contact information is there for you guys to connect with her, whether it's for her book or any other parenting questions or advice that you need. She is always there for you guys. And I have one more question for you, Darcy. If you were an animal, what would you be and why?
Oh, I would probably say I'd be some sort of bird, probably like an eagle of some sort. I would just love to be able to fly. I really would love to be able to just spread my wings and just, like you see the seagulls do it at the beach all the time when the wind is blowing, and they're not even flapping, they're not expending any energy, and they're just floating on the wind. That would be such an amazing feeling. Yeah.
And a good perspective too.
Right? Yeah, you could see all the little hooligans going on down there.
Yeah. Well, Darcy, again, thank you so much for joining us today. It is Jess, your life and transition coach through your inner vitality. And do join us for more good stuff like this. It is your time.